Okay, here we go. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to Let's Get Social. This is our Friday sew along, and this is Black History Month this month. So I'm excited because we are going to be focused on Black designers. And so I'm really excited about that. Welcome to everyone that's joining. I'm going to do the reintroduction a couple of times as people are hopping on, introducing what we're going to be focused on this month, introducing myself, welcoming people, talking about the patterns that we're going to be focused on. So, hello, hi, Seamless Stitches. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For those that are new to the Friday Let's Get Social sew-alongs, know that I am streaming to multiple platforms at the same time. So I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook. Hey Dee, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. So you'll see me sometimes looking in one direction, looking in the other, and that's because I have comments that are coming up from multiple directions, and I am maybe answering those comments. So I do try to keep an eye on the chat. So if I do miss your question, please, repeat it. Or if anybody that is signed on sees a question, definitely, highlight that, hey, I might have missed it. Hey, Teresa, welcome, welcome. Hey, Aisha. So welcome to everyone that is logging on. So this is Black History Month. So all month long, we are going to be focused on Black designers. Hey, Black Sewing Network. Hey, Carmen. So we're going to be focused on Black designers. And so and we're going to be talking about all things Black history. And Black history does not have to be in the 1800s. It could really be last year. It could be last week. And so I thought today that I'm going to try to see if I can do this either today or maybe I'll do it the next time that we're on. But one of these lives, I want to do a little bit of like trivia. I'm a huge trivia person. And by huge trivia person, I don't mean I know all the answers. I mean, I like to ask the questions and see who else knows the answers. That's what I mean by trivia and history. So anyway, with that, let's see. Yes, thank you. Please make sure on all the platforms that you hit the like button, that you comment, because the more you do that, the more that they will push this live out. And I need help, all the help I could get pushing this live out, because this last week has been super busy. And while you usually see me pumping up all my sew-alongs, I was traveling all week long and life just got, life was lifing, as people would say. And so here we are on Friday, ready to kind of jump into things, but I have not had a lot of time to promote. So I need all your help. Please share so that we can get some people on, because, I didn't do as good of a job promoting this week, but that's what we're all here for. Friends, I need your help. So this week, we are going to be focused on one of my favorite Black designers, Nikki from Beaute J'Adore. And I love everything that she makes. And I've made not everything that she makes, but I would love to make everything that she makes. So I've made a lot of her patterns. And last month we did we do 2 of her patterns? No, we did 1 of her patterns last month. And this month we are doing another one, which is a maxi dress. So I decided to do a maxi dress because next month, March, I'm going to be traveling to Dubai and the Maldives. And as you know, it's going to be super hot. And so it's going to be super hot. But as you know, we have to cover up a little bit in some places. So I was told back out, shoulders out is okay in some places. And so I thought, what better way to kind of be comfortable and covered. Hey, Monica, welcome. Than to make a maxi dress. So this is another PDF pattern. And so one of the things I love about this PDF pattern is that this PDF pattern in this original form is 64 pages. But guess what? We are not cutting out 64 pages of paper and gluing them together. We are going to glue together pattern pieces. Is it pages? It's pages 5 through page 20, which is about 16 pages. And that is what we need to create the pattern pieces that we need, because the other part, or the skirt, the front and back skirt, is really a rectangle. And so what I love, what I think is so cool that Nikki did is that she gave us the size of those rectangles based on whether you want an extra small through an extra large, and then you're going to just cut out the size rectangle too that you want. And you don't need to cut out a whole bunch of pieces of paper to know whatever the size is. And so, and what I also like is that she helps you to make some adjustments to the sizing before you even cut it out. And let me just kind of explain what I mean by that. She gives her own height. So she says that, hey, I'm 5'10", and here is the length that I cut out. I cut out 53 length. Well, based on that, I'm 5'2". And so I know that, and I can see that it hits the floor on her. And so I know that I don't want it to hit the floor on me. So, and I know I'm 8 inches shorter than her. So I made some adjustment. And actually one of the things that she does is she not only gives you her own measurement, she tells you that, hey, you can take your own measurement from, let me see, what does she say? The top of your, let's see. So she said that you can measure right from underneath your bust down to wherever you want your maxi dress to fall. And that's the inches that you would need. You would add 2 for your seam allowance, and that is the length that you would cut. So I went with 45 inches is what I cut. And I may even have to make it a little bit shorter, but it's easier, as you know, to keep it long and cut short than for it to be too short. And then you don't have the ability to add. And so I also cut, the medium size, which is 47 inches wide. There is a lot of gathering. If you've had a chance to look at this pattern, there is some gathering there. And so if you want more gathering, more fullness, then you would cut it a little bit wider. And if you want a little bit less gathering, then you would cut it a little bit, less wide. So I went with the medium size, and then I reduced the length. So I cut it 47 by 45, 2 pieces. Again, no pattern pieces. I just used the measurements. And so that's a great way to save on having to print out all those pieces of paper just to paste them together to create a big rectangle when you could just take the measurements. So that's one of the other things that I did. So this pattern is literally 4 pattern pieces. It's the front and back bodice. It's the straps. It is the bodice, the bodice, the front and back skirt, the straps. And then there is, because if you have to wear a bra, there is a back band to this. And so literally I had someone ask me about this week, left me a comment saying, hey, it would be great to be able to do a band to cover your bra strap, because some of us need more support than others. And so this is a great way for us to be able to wear a maxi dress with your back out and then still have that modesty cover. Hi, Latoya, welcome. Hi, Janine, welcome. Let me see. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Shishi. D, you said you went to Dubai and Abu Dhabi in 2018. It was hot and beautiful. Yeah, this is my first time going. I'm really excited about it. I cannot wait to go. So I'm looking forward to it. I have no idea what I'm going to be wearing while I'm there, but I'm looking forward to getting that together. So we may be sewing a lot of things over the next month. I don't leave until mid next month. So we have a couple of sew-alongs that we can get some really good ideas in. Okay, so with that said, there's 4 pattern pieces. I've cut all the pattern pieces. I've got I'm going with this. So the fabric that you'll use for this pattern is you're going to use a knit, because like most maxi dresses, they are made with knit. And so this is an ITY knit. So this is pretty stretchy. So I'm also hopeful that I don't, that this is not too big, but the great thing is that I will be able to make some adjustments. But I am using this lime green because I'm going with a little bit of color. We're going to Dubai, so I want to not just wear black, plus it's going to be super hot. And so I'm thinking if I wear like some light colors, that will also help me with the heat as well. And then I'm using my Bernina sewing machine to sew this. So with that said, we are going to dive right into it. And let me just make sure. Let's see. I don't know what's going on. We're not going to worry about that for right now. Okay, so we're going to dive right into this And let me see where we go. And the great thing about this is that it is only 12 steps from beginning to end. So it's also pretty straightforward in terms of pattern. So our first step is that we've already did step 1. We've cut the PDF pattern. We've put it together. I've walked you through that part. Step 2, again, talks about putting the pattern together. Step 3 talks about taping the pattern pieces. So literally it's 13 steps, and we're all in the first 4 steps talk to us about putting the PDF pattern together. So going to step 5, it says with our fabric folded wrong sides, we're going to place the pattern pieces on the fabric. We've already done that because we've cut out all of our pattern pieces. And then step 6, we're focused on the bodice. So we're going right to step 6. So if you are sewing along or you plan to sew this afterwards, you are going to grab your bodice pieces. So your bodice looks like this. It's like a pizza or a pie. Looks like a pie. So you're going to grab your bodice pieces. You're going to fold the left and right of the bodice under 1/2 inch, and you are going to stitch. So I'm going to show my workspace. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's too close. All right, let's focus on that. Hey, Lala. Hi, Tony. Hey, K-Bella. Welcome. I'm trying to keep up with everybody that's commenting. So if I miss you, oh, I got all these messages here. Let's see. Hey, Anna. Thank you, Susie. Okay, so fold the left and right side of the bodice under 1/2 inch. And so the bodice piece has some fold lines on it, just so that you're aware. There's fold lines at the top. Let me get my color. Right side, front center, fold line. Make sure I have the right side. Nope. The one thing I struggle with is when this fabric looks the same on both sides. I'm like always struggling with that. Okay. And I'm going to use clips on this because the pins will just slide out. So I'm literally doing the straight edge. So that pizza, I'm going to take the straight edge of both, the left and the right side. Let me just make this bigger so you can see. There you go. And I'm folding it under. And our seam allowance for this entire pattern is 5/8 of an inch. So today I had to run some errands, and I had on my my black TV attorney's sweatshirt on, and this woman came to me. She was like, "Oh, I really like your sweatshirt," because I feel like, you know, she recognized some of the names, but she didn't recognize all the names. And so I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Do you know who these people are on my shirt?" And so she was like, "Yeah, I think I know." She was like, "Are they, you know, black women in Congress?" Or she said, "No, are they women in Congress?" And I said, "No." And so she was a little bit of, not young, she wasn't super young, but she was probably like 30, if I had to guess, maybe 25, 30 years old. So another lady came over. She was a little bit older. If I had to guess, she was probably like in her mid 40s, maybe 50 or whatever. She was like, oh, I know who they are. I know who all of them are. And so I was like, well, don't tell her, let her, guess or whatever. And she was like, she just kept guessing and she was getting it wrong, every step, every one. She knew, I could tell she knew, she just couldn't put her finger on it. And so the other lady was like, oh, those are the Black TV attorneys. And yeah, I was like, yep. And so the lady, we were telling her who all the people were. And so I'm going to add this. I don't have a whole bunch of trivia questions lined up, but that's one that I have lined up. It's like one of my favorite things. And so if you know the Black women, or if there's men too, I don't know the men, but the women, if you know the TV attorneys, drop them in the chat, their name and what TV show, if you know who they are. This is Black History Month, so we're going to start with a little bit of light trivia. A little bit of light trivia. But look, so y'all giving the real life TV attorneys, like the real people. Yes, I love Angela Rye. That's my girl. I love her. Is Joy Reid an attorney? I didn't know that. But I love her too. I remember her before she even got her show on MSNBC. When she was writing for, what was she writing for? It'll come to me. Yeah, I don't know if she's an attorney or not, but she's still like, she is a very adult politician. I mean, Politico. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate you. All the likes. Because of you, people are coming, dropping by and saying hi. Thank you. So these TV, so Angela Rye, as you all, those that know her, she is actually a real life attorney. But my shirt had on people who just play an attorney on TV. Yes. So look, Tony is like all over it. Yes. Claire, Cosby Show, Joan, Girlfriends, Maxine, Living Single, Molly, Insecure, Annalise, How to Get Away with Murder, Jax, Reasonable Doubt. Okay, you got like almost all of them. Let me see who you're missing. Okay, you're missing 1, 2. You're missing 2. You got almost all of them. I had to look at my shirt. You're missing 2. Yes, the fake ones, the people who played one on TV. Look, because of the fake ones, we got people who were inspired to be real ones. Okay, so I folded under and now I'm about to stitch. So look, it's still, Carmen, you said you could have did that. It's 2 more. She didn't get the ball. It's 2 more. 2 more. Who knows the other 2? The other 2 that I know. There might be ones. Let me see. Oh, yeah, okay. You said who played in Annalise? Annalise. Yes, Olivia Pope. So that's one of them. What show? What show was she on? Yes, Scandal. That's right. So, Lisa, the question is, we are naming people who the black TV attorneys that played an attorney on TV. So Tony came through with all the tea and dropped like almost all of them except for two. And Carmen just named one of the last two. And then there's one more left that I know about. And this girl, let me just like, this one is one of my favorites because everything that she wore on her TV show was just fire. I mean, she came with all the heat every week, every week. Let me see somebody. Hey, Coco. Hi, Karen. Okay, so I'm stitching my what do you call this? My bodice. I folded it under on the left and right side, and I am stitching it, being careful not to pull it too much as I'm stitching it. All right, y'all got one more. So I gave you a hint, even though this one. So yeah, so Coco, they said Olivia Pope. So let me tell you the people that got named so far. Claire from The Cosby Show. Joan from Girlfriends. Also, she could dress too. She was like, she was giving it all. Maxine, Living Single. That was like, I think that was the moment that I was like, I'm going to be an attorney. Molly, Insecure. Oh yeah, she also was like coming with the heat with the clothes. She was definitely doing it. Annalise. Oh, what happened? How to Get Away with Murder. And Jack's Reasonable Doubt. And then Carmen named Olivia Pope. Oh, what happened? Oh, my thing died. I don't know why. And oh, you know what? Okay, so I didn't even think about so when you say Yvonne from Insecure, I gotta look that one up. Yeah, so they named Maxine and Joan. Molly. Yes, Molly. Yes, Molly. And then from Insecure, right. And then Jessica. There you go, Jessica. That's it, from Suits. That was the last one that I know of. Molly is Yvonne, right. Thank you, Carmen. Look, I know the fake name before I was like, yes, those are all the ones that I know about. Oh my goodness, look at all these things open. My iPad just shut down like, you got too much stuff open. And indeed I do. It was like, you're going to have to close some of this stuff because you're doing too much. Yes, those are all the ones that I know about and love. But yeah, so I have a sweatshirt that has them all on there. I've had it for years. And every now and then I will wear it and people will ask me about it. Like, who are those people? But I love it. It's one of my favorite shirts, sweatshirts. I wear it, not all the time, but then I get in this rut and I will be wearing it. And every time I wear it, someone asks me about it. All right, there we go. Look, there were a lot of people, a lot of those TV attorneys, as I call them, they could dress. Jessica, Molly, they were definitely dressing their butts off. Hi, Rochelle. Thank you. I appreciate you. So for those that are just hopping on, this is my first sew along of the month, Black History Month. We focused on Black designers, and we are sewing Nikki from Beaute J'Adore. She has a strappy maxi dress. And we are sewing that because why? We focused on Black designers for Black History Month, but also because I'm going to Dubai and I need some clothes to wear. Well, let me phrase that. I do not need any clothes to wear. I want some clothes to wear. So the other, let me see. Let me see from, you said we all probably too young, but Rebecca from The Practice and Renee from oh yes, Allie McBeal. I do, Allie McBeal. I do remember her. Okay. Yes, that was not on my radar at all. At all. I am paused on, let me see what is happening there. I don't know why. Let me see. Hopefully, let me know if that, let me see. Let me just, okay. Is that, let me know if that is fixed, Carmen. It shut down for some reason. I'm not sure why, but it did. It shut down, but I think I got it back together. Okay, sorry, y'all on TikTok. I apologize. I don't know what happened. So I got another trivia question. Y'all gonna get this. This one is probably easy. If you don't get it, I'm not gonna pull any cards around here, but everybody should get this. Our auntie, Maxine Waters. First of all, hopefully everybody knows who Maxine Waters is. But what is her phrase that she says that everybody says? Who knows what her phrase is that will forever be remembered? I'm not going to ask y'all what she said it in response to, but yes. Let's see. Yes, let me read that. Yes, look, that's it. Carmen hit it. She was like, let me reclaim my time. And every Black woman across America was like, let me get at that. And when you feel disrespected, what do? We come through and we reclaim our time. Yes, we do. That's it. Yes. Because don't play with Auntie's time. She was not here for the shenanigans. Not at all. Okay, so this is what the first one looks like. I have folded. I'm going to press this too, because as you can see, this one is a little, I was pulling on it a little bit and it caused it to have a little bit of just like a wrinkle there, but that's one down, one to go. Yes, reclaiming my time. I love that. I love that. If you haven't seen the clip, go on YouTube, watch, search Maxine Waters, Reclaiming My Time, and you will get all the work. Because she was not playing games that day. Oh, here we go. Where is my little scissors? So the only thing about using this very delicate ITY fabric is sometimes your sewing machine likes to swallow it up. So you have to be really careful about it. That's what just happened to me. So I'm just about to just cut this thread off. Hi, Lynette. Welcome. All right. We're going to make this work. Yeah, so funny, like, not funny, but I love that Black History Month is in February, Women's History Month is in March. Two of my favorite times of the year because so many Black people and women every day are creating history. Every day. Okay. Hey, Tydree. Hey, Auntie Carol. Welcome. All right, we're going to make this work because what we're not going to do is put a hole in it. All right. So I'm just doing basically creating my hem. And normally we don't do hems, but unless it's a critical part of construction, we don't do it during the sew along. But in this case, it is a part of construction. So we are doing them to the bodice pieces, which are two triangle pieces that go around the breast. And you can also adjust these as well. Oh, that's Carmen. Okay. Look, I thought it was Auntie Carol. I'm like, Auntie Carol is, you know. But thank you for clarifying. I appreciate you. The tapping in. So who is going to DC Fractals tomorrow? And what are you wearing? Because I'm still debating what I'm wearing. I am going. And who's going to Chicago Fractals? Because so Carmen, I know that they had the early bird tickets, but now the official tickets are on sale, right? Thank you, Lynette. I actually have a hair appointment tomorrow to do something. I don't know. I got it cut, so I don't know what's happening to my TikTok. It just keeps shutting down. So I'm gonna tell people come on over to YouTube because TikTok is not happy with me right now. Oh, my iPad died, and I don't know why that's dying either. Okay, so these, yeah, so the Fractals, Chicago Fractals tickets are on sale right now. Okay, so we have now put our little hems and our two bodice pieces. So those left and right pieces And I'm about to turn it on the turn on the iron. I'm gonna press it because I got all those little wrinkles in there. I'm just putting some water in my iron. Yeah, I got my ticket to Chicago Fractals, and I'm pumped. I have yet to go to Chicago in the summertime, so I'm also looking forward to that. All right, here I come. I'm just getting my iron because we gonna put some heat to this. Press out those. Yes, look, Claire Huxtable. That was my one of my favorite and first, knowledge of like, oh, okay, Black attorney, even though they didn't really highlight that much on the show, in my opinion. But I mean, everybody knew, he was a doctor, she was an attorney, but I don't feel like it was highlighted the way that it could have been, in my opinion. Do y'all remember when she talked when she was that the Cosby Show, when she was like, oh, you want to go to Baltimore and have big fun in Baltimore? There's so many clips from the Cosby Show. I don't know what's happening. Well, I do know what's happening. For some reason, my iPad keeps shutting down. And that reason is that it's not charging, and I'm not really sure why. I have it plugged in. I've had it plugged in. So it might be getting ready to die. Yeah, it keeps just shutting down. It's like at 1%. And it should be fully charged right now because it's been plugged in. So I'm not sure what's going on with it. It may be at the end of its life. I've had it for a while. So I'm sorry for our TikTok people, because as soon as it comes on, I'm going to log back in. All right, so we have pressed these 2 pieces. Move this out the way. Make sure this don't fall off on the ground. There we go. All right, so we have pressed our 2 bodice pieces. I'm gonna move them out the way. I'm gonna move all this out the way. So that is, let me see, step 6. So we folded it under a 1/2 inch and we stitched. And then it says, so one of the things that Nikki has in this pattern is she has lots of opportunity to make sure that your bodice fits, and even that your whole dress fits. And so one of the things that she talks about doing in this is to use, if you have a dress form, to use the dress form to make sure that the bodice pieces, fit. So, because again, these pieces are going to be kind of, yes, going like this. And then it'll be gathered at the bottom. And yes, I think that's right. I think that's how they're going to fit. Either that way or, yes, or this way. I think it's this way. So she's giving you some opportunity. So one thing she says that you could take a dress form and you can place the 2 bodice pieces on your dress form, or you can place them on yourself and pleat them until they fit as you want them to fit. And she has like a YouTube video that pretty much shows you how to do that, how to pleat them at the bottom so that you can get the fit that you want. I am going to use my ruffle foot to create pleats because because it's all gathered anyway. I don't really feel like there's much measurement that I need to do. But if you do want to end up measuring it, I got my dress form here, so I will show you. On the dress form. Let me see what's going on with my. Yes, I don't know what's going on with the iPad, but I'll have it fixed by the next time. Yes, it's this way because this is the long one. I'm just going to pin this here. And again, I'm going to use my gathering foot and gather every 6. But if you don't want to do that, you would basically pin this to yourself with the longer edge going towards the middle. And you would basically make sure that you have a full coverage on your breast, and then just do like I realize you can't see this. Let me see if I go like that. Yes. Okay. And there you go. And you're basically going to do a fold over at the bottom. Like this. But you could do it either on a dress form or on yourself, and then pin or clip it, and then try it. If you do it on a dress form, then try it on and make sure that it's not too narrow, that it's wide. And then you also want to make sure, because this is going to come over, and however you want, you don't want to gather too much so that it's too far over and then you have too much opening, unless you're comfortable with that. So you can make that adjustment there as well. So again, I'm going to use my gathering foot to gather. And again, I'm doing one gather every 6. And so I will show you what that looks like. But to make sure that you're comfortable with how much coverage you have, you might want to do what Nikki recommends in the pattern, which is either put it on yourself, like pin it to yourself. And I can even show you, I'm not going to do it over my clothes, and then pin it so that you know how much you want gathered. All right, let's see. And so and then she recommends that you hand base some pleats to keep that gathered part in the middle, or pleated part, because she's calling them pleats. So and actually, now that I think about it, what I might do is 1 every 12. So I have the option to do 1 gather every 6, or every 12 stitches. And I'm going to do 1 every 12 just because that is a looser kind of pleat, I guess. It'll probably look more like a pleat than a gather. Big fun, Vanessa. Yes, exactly. I love that. Was one of my favorite episodes. Big fun. So you want to go to Baltimore and have big fun. And she said to Vanessa, she was like, oh, and so you went to New Jersey and, did all this stuff. And a normal person who had a bad experience would come home, but not Vanessa, not you. You went to Baltimore so you could have big fun in Baltimore. I don't know if y'all remember that episode, but I do. That was one of my favorite. Yeah, I'm going to go back on TikTok as soon as my iPad charges a little bit. For whatever reason, I'm going to see if it'll let me get on. Okay, so once you've determined, how how wide or how many pleats you want, then you are going to, it says you can either hand base your pleats in place, and then you can make adjustments once you have it put together. And then you're also going to, once you do that, then you're going to also determine how deep you want your V. And you're going to also kind of either put a pin or clip in that, or you can just do a base stitch in that. And I'll show you that in a minute. I'm just going to do this stitching. Do this pleat in here. Oh, and I got to change this over to. All right, here we go. I'm just putting this in there. Yes, exactly. Yes. Look, they had so many good episodes. Right. Carjack. That's right. Poor Vanessa. Right. Yes. Claire was like, you gonna get this work today. Like, I remember she was like, she asked her a question. Right, exactly. Look, she asked her a question and Vanessa was going to answer. She was like, don't talk to me when I'm trying to ask you questions. She was not here for it. Okay, so just to show you what it looks like with that pleat in there. Now I'm gonna do this one. And I'm making it a little bit bigger just because it's easier to, I guess it's not too difficult to take these pleats out if I made it too small, but I figure since she's calling it pleats, that's to me means I should go a little bit bigger. I love using my gathering foot, as you can see, because I use it any chance I get. Anytime they say pleats, gathers, I'm pulling this foot out. It has made my life so much easier. But I'm going to show you both. You have a, Lynette, do you use your ruffle gathering foot? I use mine. I'm not gonna say a lot, but every chance I get, I do use it. Like, I use it. I definitely use it. So here we go. If you're able to see up close, this is kind of what the gather will look like. And the other one looks the same. Yeah, I feel like it's so much easier to do that. Well, not easier, but I like it. I just like using it. I guess that's probably the easiest way for me to describe it. I really like it. Okay, so let me just share this with you. Can you see that? Oh, Lord, no, you cannot see because I've not let you. So here we go. What you're looking at on the screen right now is the two bodice pieces. And I guess I should turn them so you can see them in your direction. I need to fix that camera so it can go your direction. But basically, this is the two bodice pieces. And you can see I have kind of the gathering at the bottom or the pleating at the bottom of that. So now the next thing it tells us to do is it says, hey, figure out how deep you want your V to go. And it says to kind of tack that on. So you could take like a little stitch and put that together. Or in my case, I'm just going to take a couple clips and clip it. Now, there's a couple of ways that you could do this. You can put it on yourself and say, okay, is this where I want my V to be? And if you want your V to be, if you want more closure, then you're going to tack up more. And then of course, if you want less, then you can make these farther apart. They don't even have to overlap if you don't want them to. You can have it. And I'm just looking at, let me see how Nikki has hers. Yeah, she has hers like there's very little overlap. It just really just goes right into the dress or the skirt part. So it's really up to you how much modesty that you want when you're making this. And that's the other thing I like about it is that, you know, she does tell you along the way. So you're not just putting the whole dress together and then realizing like, oh, there's too much exposure here, or you know, there's not enough because you want more. She's telling you like, hey, if you want to, this is where you would make some adjustments. So I am going to have some overlap here, although, yeah, I'm going to have some overlap here. So what you see me doing is kind of crossing it over a little bit. And then I'm going to just clip at the ruffle part. I'm just going to clip where that overlap. You can put a basting stitch if you want, but I'm just going to clip it. So I have a little bit of overlap there. So if you could see, and this is how it would look just on my dress form. Clip one side. Because we're getting ready to move on to the skirt. So I'm going to actually clip this here so you can see it. So this is, ooh, Jesus, that scared me. I'm like, what is that? All right, there we go. Clip that side. What size dress form is this? Is this my, oh, this is my 12. Okay. So now you get a little bit of a feel for how it looks. And like I said, if you need more, so this dress form is a little smaller than my circumference. So I don't need to make it any smaller, but you get the picture. This is really where you're going to decide where you want the overlap. Like I said, Nikki, on her version that she has on her picture, there is no overlap. These go, it looks like these go straight down into the skirt. So I'm going to push this back here for a minute because guess what? We are going to work on our skirt. Let me know if you have any questions about that. All right, let's try to get back on TikTok for a minute. Let me see. We're going to see what happens. I don't know. If it shuts off again, then we'll just let it be. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the skirt. So we are going, the first thing that we're going to do with the skirt is that we are going to stitch the front to the back at the side seams using 5/8 inch seam allowance. So these are my two skirt pieces. As I mentioned before, they are 47 by 45. There are two pieces. And we're going to connect them at the side seam. So let me just, I want to make sure that is this the width? Yeah, I think this is the width. I'm just trying to make sure I have the right. Oh no, I think this is the width. I'm just making sure before I stitch it together. Okay. So this is the length. This is the width. So right sides together. And this is that, remember what I said about the fabric. This is that fabric that looks very similar on both sides. So I have to just make sure that, is this the right side? Yeah, I think I did put them right sides together. So I am literally going to stitch down the side, but I'm gonna clip it just to make sure because it is very stretchy and I don't want to end up with one stretched out and one not stretched out. So the one thing about ITY is that when you are sewing it together, you just have to make sure that you do not pull on it because it will stretch as you are sewing it and you'll end up with a much longer garment. Thank y'all for coming back on TikTok. I don't know why my iPad keeps dying, but let's see if it hangs in there. If not, if it does shut off, you can definitely join on YouTube or Facebook, preferably YouTube. So we are on step 9. And again, there's only 12 steps to this. Or I think, yeah, 12 steps, and we're not even doing step 12, which is hemming the bottom. Because why? We don't need to hem it because that's the skirt is finished and the dress is finished and you'll be able to get the full look. So I just want to repeat this because I think this is going to be really helpful. Which is that if you do decide to sew this pattern, you do not need to cut all 64 pattern pieces out. You only need to cut 16 pattern pieces because the skirt is a rectangle and the instructions kind of guide you on how to cut that rectangle so that you do not need to cut all those pattern pieces. So I'm just going to emphasize that. Again, just for those that are joining late, I did not cut it. I did not cut all those 64 pages. I just cut pages 5 through 20, which is 16 pages. And that allowed me to cut my bodice, my back piece, and my strap. And then, of course, I use the instructions, which tell me what size my rectangle should be for the skirt. And so what I'm doing right now is right sides together. I'm about to stitch the side seam so that it will make one long piece of fabric or one wide piece of fabric. And we're doing this at 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So let me just see what she says in the instructions. Fold the top edge of the skirt. Okay, it says after you have cut the skirt using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, stitch the front to the back of the skirt at the sides. And that's what we're doing right now. And then after we do that, we're going to fold the top edge of the skirt under 1/2 inch, and we are going to stitch. And then we're going to pin the side seam of the skirt to the side seam of the bodice on both sides. I'm going to stop there because we're going to get to those steps, and then I'll pick up there. All right, here we go. I'm about to move this over, and I'm going to do a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm gonna change back to my foot. All right, here we go. We are gonna sew this up, 5/8 of an inch. Oops. So did anybody participate in the hi Angela, welcome. Happy that you are here and joined us. Did anybody participate in the kind of the challenge, the So Much Talent challenge for January, which I think is still going on? I did mine for the whole month of January, and I'm still going strong, by the way. Although I will be buying a pattern, some patterns this month. But how many people successfully, hi Miss Crafty, welcome. How many people successfully participated in that challenge? I am so proud of myself because I did not buy any fabric or any patterns the entire month of January. And let me tell you, I went through my closet and I donated 5 huge bags of clothes to Goodwill. And these are clothes that I was once upon a time that I was planning on, you know, upcycling, and I just don't have any space anymore. So because of going through that whole process, I have said to myself, like, I've got to do better. I got to make sure that, you know, as I'm making all these clothes, what I've said to myself is I have to use the fabrics that I have. And for everything I make, I got to get rid of something. So that's going to be my 2024. That's going to be my 2024 objective. If I make something, I'm getting rid of something. So, and that's going to be really hard for me because literally I got rid of everything I wanted to get rid of. So everything in my closet right now is stuff that I want. Now, let me clarify. It's stuff that I want, but haven't necessarily worn in a long time, some of it. So I'm about to be in a battle with myself. But I got to do it because I feel like I've been doing a little bit of hoarding lately, just keeping everything under the sun. And I do feel, it feels so good to walk into my closet and be able to just see everything. I'm wearing clothes that I haven't worn in a while because I'm like, oh, I forgot about this. I forgot I had this. So that's a good feeling. You could also just, for some parts of this, like this part right here, you could definitely use a serger on. I may even go back in and serge this just because it'll make it nice and clean. And it's a lot of fabric, so. Almost done putting this together. Oh, you said that it ends tomorrow, the challenge. So the challenge ends tomorrow. I'm just trying to figure out, did everybody like, did they stay with it, stick with it? I know I did, and I'm proud of myself because this girl right here was buying fabric and patterns every week without fail, and I ain't need a thing. I got so much stuff, so I'm just going to be much more strategic than I have been. Okay, so we have sewn this together at the side seam. This is our skirt. And so our next step is that we are going to fold the top edge of the skirt under 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, and we are going to stitch, not 5/8, I'm sorry, 1/2 inch, and we're going to stitch. So here is, again, this is a lot of fabric. So here it is, if you can't see, and now I am about to fold it under and stitch. So I am actually not going to pin this entire thing. I'm going to use my edge foot to help me keep it at a 1/2 inch. And the only thing I'm going to fold under is the seam, where the seam connects. So I'm just going to fold over that piece and clip that piece. And then I'm going to use my edge foot to do the 1/2 inch because this is a lot of fabric. So, all right, let me think about another Black History question. Another great Black History question. I should have lined up more before we got on this call because I do love Black History a lot. I never took, like, I always said I was going to go back to school and take some, you know, classes that really talk about, like, you know, like the modern version of Black history. Not like, you know, back in the day, but like the modern version. All the things that we are doing right now. Has anybody, you say you blew the challenge, but you're not buying anything this month. I know, look, I know that's right. You get credit. If you make it through the month of February, you don't buy anything, you get credit for that, Monica. You get credit. I'll give you credit. Last month I went to the African American Museum in DC. And let me tell you, if you have never been, it is, not only is it an all-day thing, it could actually be a multi-day thing. There's just first of all, it's amazing. If you have not been, you should definitely go. I would imagine that this month of all months is probably going to be crowded beyond belief. But if you do have the opportunity to go, I would definitely recommend that you go. Let me see. Miss Tata said, I participated, but just spent double in February. Yeah, look, so that's the thing. Look, I feel you, Miss Tata. Like, I am gonna try to make sure that I got a couple things that I need to buy in February, but I'm still committed to sewing all these patterns that I have. Now, I did buy some stuff in advance because I knew I was gonna be focusing on Black history. But so I feel like I might only have one pattern that I need to buy. And also my schedule so y'all, those that know me, y'all know I usually put my schedule out in advance. I do not have my schedule out because, like I said, last week was crazy. For me, I was busy traveling, but I'm going to put my schedule out probably through April. Because I'm already planning like what I'm doing in March. And I will be, Shishi is actually going to be covering for me next week. And she will also be covering for me the 2 weeks that I'm gone to Dubai in March. So I'm going to be putting out my rest of the February calendar, my March calendar, and also my April calendar. Like, you're going to know exactly what we're doing. And I'm trying to also think about some, it's 2024. I'm gonna try to think about some things different, to switch it up a little bit, focus on some different things, maybe bring on some people to sew along with me a couple of times, but not in the traditional way. Maybe like some people that can like teach us something and we'll be doing it together. Also, I want to do, I haven't done these recently, but I want to do some like kind of teaching, or have some subject matter experts on, and we just kind of talk about it. And to give you an idea of what I mean by that, like a while ago I did a live with Julian, and we talked about like, you know, sergers and the history of sergers and all that. And then after that, I did another live that it was all about zippers, and that was with Brittany, Crafted in Chaos, and Aisha from Malorier Designs, and then Auntie Carol got on as well, and that was really nice. And all of those, by the way, are on my YouTube. If you haven't seen them, they are like loaded with information, and they're fun too. You get to hear us kind of, you know, laugh it up a little bit. So I'm trying to think about, you know, what is fun and interesting. So if you have some ideas, definitely, you know, drop it in the chat or hit me up in my inbox of things you think would be fun or interesting. And at some point, I need to do my fabric hauls. I'm going through all this, the fabric and stuff that I have all that fabric and silk and stuff that I bought from Bali and Malaysia and Singapore. And I never did that fabric haul with y'all. So at some point I want to kind of do that as well. And I will probably buy some fabric while I'm in Dubai. Let's see. You say you in 2 days so far. Look, one day at a time. That's what I say. Now, let me ask you this, Monica. Do you have a lot of fabric stashed? Or are you one of those pieces that people that only like buy what you need when you need it? Miss Tata, do you have a lot of, you say I have a ridiculous amount of fabric. Yeah, look, that's me. Like all this, this right here, this fabric that I bought this fabric over a year ago. No, maybe not. I bought it probably the beginning of last spring. So almost a year ago. And I forgot that I had it. I actually have this fabric in a blue and a pink and a white and a green. Why did I buy all those different colors? I have no idea, but I bought them. And I bought 3 yards of each one of these fabrics. Let me see. So Carmen says, I wasn't impressed by the fabric in Dubai. It's all imported. You know what? That's interesting that you say that, because in Bali, one of the things that I learned from them is that they do have places that make silk, but most of the silk in Bali is imported, and they do dye it and put the batik pattern. They do put that on there, but it's not natural from Bali. And what I learned from just talking to people there is that is more of like getting the workers to actually do the work, I guess, to make the silk. So they get their silk from China. And I don't know if that's the same thing in Dubai, if they get their silk from China. You said, when I worked the fabric store, Miss Tata said, I shop every day. I feel you. Like, I would shop every day. If I worked at a fabric store, that would be problematic for me to work at a fabric store. I can't even imagine the kind of problems that I would have. Hi, Jacqueline. Welcome. So Monica says, absolutely. I told you that. France Fabric Company got me good. Oh, goodness. Lord. I think most of the sewists that I know have tons and tons of fabric. I rarely meet a sewist that says, nope, I go to the fabric store every time I want to sew something. That's how I need to be, but that is not me. You see all these bins of fabric that I have and boxes. I have boxes from Fabric Warehouse Direct that I haven't even washed the fabric. The fabric is just sitting in the box, in the plastic bag. And I find the fabric that I like, or I will order like 3 or 4 different colors of the fabric. I have no idea what I'm going to do with the fabric. I just buy it. So I got to change my ways. You would think I have some kind of like scarcity situation where I'm thinking, if I don't get this fabric, I'm never going to be able to get it. All right, so we have now just finished putting that, folding it over by 1/2 inch and sewing that seam, stitching that in. And you're doing that again to the top of your skirt. That is going at the top. So now that we've done that, we've taken our skirt, we've stitched it together, right sides together, stitch it at the side seam. We folded up folded under the top by 1/2 inch and put a stitch in there. And now we are going to, let's see, pin the side seam of the skirt to the side seam of the bodice on both sides. We got to find the center of the fabric on the front of the skirt and pin it to the bottom of the V on the center of the bodice. Okay, so finding the center of the skirt is going to be super easy because guess what? We just stitched it together. Now let me look at one thing. I just want to see one thing. Are we stitching both of the side seams? So let me just make sure before I do this. Stitch the front to the back of the skirt at the sides. Oh yeah, so I actually do need to, I need to do one thing I didn't do. I only stitched one of the sides. I just realized, and I need to stitch both of the sides because we're about to attach it to the bodice. And so it needs to be one big circle. So right sides together. I am going to stitch this other side together. And I'm going to clip it a little bit because it'll help it stay together. Okay, Monica says, okay. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Carmen, for explaining that. And again, we are focused all month. We're going to be focused on Black designers. It's Black History Month, and we need to be highlighting those that are, out here in front, paving the way, as we would say. At some point, I want to, design. I've already started putting together, and I shouldn't even use that word started, but I did. I started my pattern making academy class, but I'm so behind. It's almost like I need to start again because what I did is I did some in late October, and then I did some in December, early December, and then I haven't touched it. So I need to get back on track with that so I can really get going because I got some great ideas of things. But in the meantime, I want to support all the people that are out there that have done it. Okay, so let me see. Monica says, my husband told my family that he thinks I'm running a sweatshop. And when he's not home because I have so many patterns and fabrics. Look, if your husband could see the rest of our patterns, fabric and pattern stashes, he would think that we got stock in these companies because we are buying. And that's one of the reasons, to your point, Monica, I got all those commercial patterns in there, and I'm glad to say a good bit of them are Know Me patterns to support, the Black designers as well. But I also want to, I was happy to have focused on indie patterns or in January, and I definitely want to do that a lot more. And you know what's so crazy? Like, you know, we're so used to paying the $2 for a pattern from Joann's, and the independent patterns, they cost a little bit more than that, but I don't have any problem paying it because I know it's going directly to them. So it's been something that I have enjoyed supporting. My fellow Black sewists. So I'm looking forward. I know, you know, other people are working on their patterns, and I hope to join them too. But I'm looking forward to supporting other people. All right, here we go. We're about to sew this side up, and then we're going to connect the skirt to the bodice. See, we're moving super fast. All right, 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, right sides together, and we are gonna stitch. And here we go. All right, let's see. You know, one thing I will say, I love black and white. Those are my favorite colors, but another color that's like out of the box color for me is lime green and burnt orange. I mean, mustard yellow. Like, those are colors that I also like a lot. I'm not a huge color person, but when I do, I definitely gravitate towards those colors. So I'm looking forward to wearing this dress because I feel like it's going to be so cute. So cute, and so far so easy to make, so straightforward. So I hope other people do decide to make this. I'm going to link to the pattern too. And at some point this weekend, I owe y'all a lot of pictures. I owe y'all this skirt that I got on this dress form right now. I owe you the dress that I made last week, which I actually will probably wear tomorrow. So you will get to see that. It says, am I serging? No, so I am actually not serging. I am using my sewing machine. I'm not actually going to use my serger. Although when sewing these skirt pieces together, I definitely feel like you can use your serger for that. I may end up going back in and using my serger after the fact, just because I like that whole clean finish that the serger gives. I'm so addicted to that. So the other thing that I have been working on is my sewing space. And so I hope by the time I have my next live that I will be fully in my sewing space. I'm excited about that. And the other reason why I'm excited about it is because I have a cover stitch machine that I also have bought over a year ago, probably a year and a half ago. And I set it up, I threaded it, and I've never used it because it is literally behind, guess what? Boxes of fabric. So, and bins of fabric. So, or it was. I've started kind of moving things around a little bit. So I'm excited about being able to use that and talk about that as well. Aisha from Laurier Design, she lives by the cover stitch machine. That's her thing. So I'm looking to join her and be using it as well. And guess what else I'm going to use? I also bought a projector, and I'm hoping that that's also buried behind all the fabric, or was. And I want to use that as well. So we're going to dive into those in 2024 for sure. Okay. So we have stitched it all together at the sides. And now we are ready to find our center seam. This is the bottom, this is the top. And let me just see how we're doing this. So we're going to pin the side seam of the skirt to the side seam of the bodice on both sides. Find the center of the fabric on the front of the skirt and pin it to the bottom of the V on the center of the bodice, with the excess fabric starting on one side. Pleat the fabric until you get to the seam. So this is where we are creating that pleating. So let me, you can't really see it on here because it's really small, but if you look at the pattern there, this whole skirt underneath the bodice is all pleated, and it's kind of gathered together. So we are going to create that gathering effect. Now what I need to do is figure out is this, I think it's going to be right sides together. All right, so let me take this out. Now we're going to work with this. You said, what machines would you say a person needs to be a great sewist? Look, I think a basic sewing machine is really, I don't think to start that you need a serger or even a cover stitch machine. I think you could be a great sewist with just a sewing machine, because the things that you do on a serger, you can do not to the same efficiency, but you can do some of those things, those finishing stitches, you can do them on a sewing machine as well. So I think a sewing machine is what you definitely need. You can be a great sewist with just a sewing machine. Now, if you want to explore like an easy way to do things, then I would say you can definitely explore that with a sewing machine. I mean, with a serger. Sergers make finishing the insides of garments together, particularly when you're sewing with knits, like what we're sewing with today. It makes it so much easier and so much quicker, and it just looks more professional. So, but not that you can't achieve those things with a sewing machine. So I don't want to be misleading in that way, but it is easier it is definitely easier. Okay, so let me see. I'm putting my I am lining up my bodice. Let me just make sure I'm doing this correctly. All right, right side, nope. So I'm lining up my V to the center. And again, mine overlaps, so, and I'm going to clip that back. Oops. Let me just see. Nope. So I have to line it up a little bit more. What's happening? I don't know what happened, but there we go. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm basically right sides together. And then I am going to be folding over. So let me just show you this so you can see what I'm doing. So this is this is the skirt. This is the center of the skirt. And then is, what is happening with my, hey, why does it keep doing that? I don't know why it's flipping over. But anyway, this is the center of the skirt. I'm making sure that my V is lined up with that center line so it doesn't look off. And then I'm going to be pleating the skirt pieces. So let me turn it around. I'm going to be pleating the skirt pieces. So as I'm attaching them, I'm going to be folding them over to create pleats. And then I'm going to clip it until I get to the end. Let me just see. Let's see. Find the center of the fabric on the front of the skirt and pin it to the bottom. Pin the side seam of the skirt to the side seam of the... Oh. Sorry, that's my my vacuum cleaner. So you're going to pin the side seam of the skirt to the side seam of the bodice. So we're going to pin that side seam of the skirt to the side seam of the bodice. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Scratch what I just said. We're going to do this again. We're going to do this again. Because I attached it to the side seam and not the front. Okay, so let's start over again. Here is our skirt. We've attached it at the sides. We've hemmed the top by folding it under 1/2. And where we attached it at the sides is the side and not the front. There is no seam in the front. So one of the things that you want to do is, and I think it doesn't do this, but you need to mark the center. And this is what it's telling us, to find the center of the front of it. And so the best way to be able to do that is, to the best of your ability, is probably when you measured it, to just measure it down the middle. But I'm going to cheat and do it a different way. And I'm just going to fold it in half again. So this is me folding it in half, and I'm going to mark it with my marker when I find it. Okay, so I basically folded it in half again, and the center of that is going to be the center of the front and or the back. So I'm just going to make a little dot with my marker, and I'm going to do it on both sides. There we go. So I did it on the wrong side of that fabric, and that's going to be my center front or my center back. Let me just make sure it's lined up right. Okay. I'm just going to make it again. All right, there we go. Now, right sides together. You're going to take your, and let me just put this one on so you can see me. No, that's not what I want. There we go. So now we are going to take our bodice piece. right sides together, we're going to pin the edges of these to the side seams. So that is where the actual seam is. So at the seam, you're going to pin that or clip it. I'm clipping them. I had y'all going all the wrong way. So you're going to do that on one side, and then you're going to take the other side, and you're going to find the other side seam. And just make sure it's not twisted or anything like that. And again, right sides together. Find that other side seam, and you're going to line that side seam up with the other side seam. So this is what it will look like, kind of. Let me just clean. And well, let me do this, and then I'll show you what it's going to look like. Then you're going to find your piece that you marked. That's the middle. So see, that's my middle piece. And you're going to line that middle piece up with wherever your V is. So you're going to line that middle piece up with the V. And remember, you're going to have more skirt than you're going to have. Your skirt is going to be wider than your bodice piece. So you're going to find where you marked it, and you are literally going to line that up with wherever your V is, wherever your crossover is. It should be right in the middle. And you're going to clip that. Then so this is what it should look like. Again, right side together. So what you're looking at right now, for those that are able to see it, you are looking at the front side of you're looking at the front of my skirt. That's what I'm holding up. Hold on, let me hold it up on both sides. You're looking at the bodice is attached to the side seam. The side edge of the bodice, which is the side seam, is attached to the side seam. And then you're seeing the V where your bodice pieces connect. So whether they cross over or they meet up in the middle, wherever they are, that's where it's going to be that's going to create your V. You're going to line that up with the middle of the skirt, the middle of the front of the skirt. And then we are literally going to pleat to make this skirt piece fit with this bodice piece. So we're going to pleat that part. You're going to pleat and then attach it to your bodice piece. And you'll just keep pleating it until you basically fit it in there. So that's what I'm doing right now. Hi, Deidre. Hey, Terrence. So this is, yeah, I don't know why it keeps doing that, Miss Tata. I don't know why it keeps cutting off. But yes, if it does cut off, please come over to Let's Get Social YouTube, because we are here and not having any problems. So I am actually doing Nikki of Beaute J'Adore's pattern. And it is her strappy maxi dress pattern is what I'm focused on. So this is an independent pattern, and we're supporting, Black sewists for the month of, or Black designers, I would say, for the month of February, because it's Black History Month. And so this week we are doing Nikki of Beaute J'Adore's. So I'm going to drop the information. I know Carmen had put it in here earlier, so I don't know if you could see past comments, but she had put the information in earlier. But I will definitely post it again with the link, because I have not posted it all week. I normally post it so that everybody is able to, you know, hop on and get it, but I did not do that. Okay, so so what I realized is I really have I've gotten it all lined up. That was fast. So probably, let's see. All right. So now I'm just clipping this. And before I sew it, I'm going to drape it on the dress form just so you can see what it's looking like after I have it all clipped up. I just want you to see what this is looking like. Oh, thank you, Carmen. So Carmen just dropped it, the pattern. I know every size requires a different amount of fabric, but how many yards are you using to make this? Great question. So Nikki did a really good job with these instructions in that she gives you the information in terms of like how many yards that you need. If you are sewing a size extra small to a small, you only need 2.5 yards. And if you are sewing a medium through an extra large, then you will need 3 yards. So I am using about 3 yards. I'm actually using a little less than 3 yards because I'm probably using 2.5 yards because mine is shorter. Nikki is 5'10". So if you're taller, you probably would be. If you're taller and you're sewing a medium through an extra large, you're probably going to use 3 yards. I've used about 2.5 yards because I'm shorter, and I definitely made mine shorter. I made it, instead of 53 inches, I did 45 inches. So about 8 inches shorter for the length. So yeah, about 2.5 yards to make this. And this is because I also like my maxi dress to fall to the floor. So this is also my maxi dress falling to the floor all the way down to my feet. That's my preference. So if you like a little bit of a shorter maxi dress, then you might not, you might be able to do a couple of inches shorter. So I'm just creating my pleats right now. And this is my first time making this dress. Sometimes I will make a, muslin just so I can get a feel for it. But I already feel like I'm really gonna like this dress, and I may end up making another one for my trip too. Like I said, remember I said I have this fabric in a white, in a fuchsia, and a blue as well. It's just green. So I may even do like a color block with those other colors. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So I have it all pinned. So this is the front. What you're looking at is the front of, I'm sorry, you're looking at the inside of the front. So I'm gonna put it on the dress form just so you can get a feel for what it looks like before I sew it together. So I'm turning it all the way right side out. And remember, when you are clipping or pinning it, you are pinning it right sides together. So this dress form is a size 12 dress form. So for the most part, when I'm sticking to my diet, it is my size. So I just want to show you what it's going to look like. Hopefully my pins, my clips don't fall off. Just so you can get a feel, a rough feel. And this would probably be like, it wouldn't probably be a bad idea to baste it. If you have any question about your sizing, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to baste it just so you can get a feel. Is this going to fit me the way that I want it to fit? So this should give you some idea. Again, this is not sewn up. The back is still really loose. We have to do some gathers in the back as well. But this gives you some idea about how it's going to fit. Without, we still have straps to put on and all of that. But I just want to give you some idea so you can get a rough. This is, again, very rough idea of how it will fit. I'm about to put my stitch it together, but I just want you to see that. All right. So now we're gonna stitch that together. Oh, so you're 5'9". So you're about as tall as Nikki. She's 5'10". So you will definitely be able to pretty much follow the instructions and may not need to make any edits. So I would definitely say, you know, stick with the 3 yards. That will definitely be sufficient for you. Excuse me. All right, here we go. So let's see, where are we? We are on the skirt, step 9. Let's see. So let's see. And then we're going to, let's see, repeat the process on the back of the skirt. Basically, we're going to, when they say repeat the process, we are basically going to be creating the pleats in the back of the skirt as well. So we're going to do the front again, where we have the bodice connected. And just as a recap as to what we did, right sides together, we put our bodice to our front of the skirt. We started with attaching the side seam of the bodice with the side seam of the skirt. And then we also aligned the V of the bodice, so where it connects at the V at the bust line, you connected that with the center of the skirt. That's your centerpiece. And then we created pleats evenly on both sides. So my pleats kind of go like right here to the front, and then it's straight. I didn't kind of pleat it all the way across. I just pleated right in this front part, and then it's kind of straight a little bit on the sides. And now, and that's just for the skirt, because as you know, the bodice is all the way pleated in there. And then we are going to stitch that together. So that's what I'm about to do right now. Let me see. All right, here we go. And again, our seam allowance is 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So I am doing 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. And just make sure as you're sewing that you're, you know, that everything is laying flat underneath, and that you are not, you know, you don't have any kind of bunched up. Hi, Joshy. So is anybody working on anything? Anybody sewing anything this weekend? And then also, is anybody going to DC Frocktails? I'm sure if you dropped that, I didn't see it. So tell me again. I'm looking for who I should be looking for at DC Frocktails tomorrow. Which one of my sew friends that I should be looking for to meet in person, maybe for the first time. I don't know. Unless I've met you at one of the other Frocktails or the So Much Talent retreat. We got a lot of stuff coming up. We got the So Much Talent retreat. We got DC Frocktails tomorrow. We got Chicago Frocktails coming up. We got lots of stuff coming up to wear all of our great stuff that we're making. Sewing tomorrow and Sunday. Okay. It's so crazy. It's weird. I haven't sewn since in a week. And that's so unusual because usually I sew something. But I haven't sewn since the last Friday that I was on. It's been a long week. Let's see. I'm working on a jacket for the DC Frocktails. Okay, Aura, I look forward to seeing you there. Josh, are you going to DC Frocktails? Just making sure my fabric is not too bunched up underneath. So in Nikki's puffy dress tomorrow. Okay. I love that dress. Let me see. You say you will not be there. Okay. Are you going to Chicago Frocktails? That's for a little while away, but so Sierra and I will be there. But I hope to see you both. Okay. I just finished my jean pants for So Much Challenge jean challenge. Okay. Starting to make a blazer with Ankara for the Black History Challenge as well. Okay. So you are busy. Anybody else doing the jeans So Much Talent jean challenge or the Black History Month Ankara challenge? I need to do the Black History Month Ankara challenge. That's what I need to do. Okay, there we go. We have okay, so we have attached. And now we're going to do the same thing with the back of this. So you can see the back is unpleated. It's just this wide piece of fabric. So what we're doing for that is we are literally going to do the exact same thing we did in the front. We are going to create those pleats again. And let me see, does it tell us which way to go? It says, repeat with the other side. Okay, let's see. It says, so this is important. It says, make an effort to ensure the pleats are uniform Repeat this process on the back of the skirt, which we're about to do. So we're going to start with the center and we're going to, do the pleats on both sides. But it says the size of the back pleats will determine how high or low or loose or tight the dress will fit. Baste stitch and then check the fit and make adjustments. Then sew the stitching on top of the half-inch fold stitch. Then sew stitching. Oh, then sew stitching on top of the half-inch fold stitch. Okay, which we did before. So I'm going to start with the center, which I marked here, and then I'm going to start creating my pleats. And I'm going to make them kind of loose, maybe like a half an inch each going. So I'm going to start the back, and I'm going to make one going in one direction and the other going in the opposite direction. So instead of them all going in one direction, I'm going to do one half of the skirt in one direction and then the other half in the other direction. And again, I'm doing half-inch pleats. I'm going to start with that. And the other thing too is that I noticed on Nikki's, hers kind of, it kind of slouches in the middle. And I like that, but I don't want to slouch too much. But I do like that it's not like just a straight across. It kind of goes down. So, let's see. You're working on Nikki Know Me 2052. Real cute. Is it 2052 the blazer? Is that 2052? I just sewed McCall's vintage pants. I have flashbacks to the 90s, and the pants are so straight at the ankles. M8432. I'm going to look that up. 8432. I like straight and narrow ankles pants. I like straight leg, but I'm not a wide leg pants person. Every now and then I find a pair of wide legs that look great on me, but for the most part, they don't flatter my body. So I rarely make them. And I'm short and I have very little waist. So between those things, it's like, it just doesn't always work for me. All right. So one side done. I'm going to now do the same thing going the other way. Oops. Yes, Joshy, it dips. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Carol, you said you make jeans. You have to take some pictures. Oh, I would love to be able to see them. You know what? I should have done the jean challenge because I always wanted to make some jeans, and I actually have some jean fabric too. I should have definitely done it. I just had my whole month already so planned out. I was like, I can't add anything to the list. Cannot add anything. Didn't want to overwhelm myself. I cannot wait to get my hair done tomorrow. I'm looking in this mirror like, this hair has survived. This is like survival hair. I need a headband. This is like where you throw the headband on. This is the kind of hair I've got right now. This is throw the headband on hair. Oh, it's the light blue jeans and the white shirt. Okay. Thank you. I want to make that too. I actually do have that pattern, and I definitely do want to make it. Why do this keep doing that? Okay. I do want to make that. And see, this is what I mean by when I say I don't need to buy anything else, because I got a lot of really nice patterns that I want to make. Okay, so here we go. I have, let me just see if I have a same amount on each side. So I have 1, 2, is this, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this side. All right, I'm about to sew my pleats in to the back of the skirt. All right, here we go. I don't really want to do that. I'm just checking something. Yeah, I guess I am. Now this is a little bit tricky because you have all these pleats, and you just got to make sure they don't get bunched up as you're going underneath your sewing machine. So one of my pleats just came out, so now I got to put it back in. This can be a little bit tricky. So you want to make sure, like I use clips for this, and it probably would be easier to use pins. Oh, you know what? Let me switch to this so you can see me sewing this. There we go. All right, here we go. All right. Okay, I think we in business. I just need to make sure that I align that back up because my pleat came out. So I just have to be extra careful because I did use clips and I don't want my pleats coming out each time I take a clip out. You know what? Oh, yeah, never mind. I was going to use my gathering foot, but because I had put that folded edge in there, I can't really use that. You know what? I'm going to do something different. So I folded this down, but I'm not going to fold it. I folded it down to just take a 1/2 inch out, but I'm not going to do it because I realized that it doesn't line up with the front as well. So I'm going to just sew it straight. And that'll make it easier for me as well, so I don't have to worry about my pleats coming out. Because I'll just be able to sew straight across the top, which is what you should do. I was just trying to make a modification. And then I'll be able to just sew right across. Let's see. Carmen's jeans. I did like Carmen's jeans, and I have that pattern too. Carmen made Mimi G's those wide leg jeans. I do like that pattern. And again, I'm not a wide leg person. I probably will make them less wide. Although they didn't really look that wide on Carmen, so I don't know if she made an adjustment to them, but I would definitely make an adjustment because I'm short and I feel like wide legs just don't look great on me. But I do have one pair that I do like. And for whatever reason, they just fit me well. Hi, Deborah. Welcome. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's try this one more time. Put my pleat back in. And I'm going to actually pin this. We're going to try the pins and see what happens. All right, let me start from this end. And we're going to go the other way. Yes, here we go. So now we're just sewing straight across. Actually, I'm switching out some of these clips for pins because that way I don't have to worry about my pleats coming out. The pins can get much closer to the needle than the clips. All right, here we go. I think we're good. I think we are good. So again, for those that are watching, we are putting the pleats in the back of the skirt. That's what we're working on right now. All right, here we go. Can you see me? Oh, you can. Let's see. You can kind of see. There you go. Now you can really see. So I replaced some of the pins with, the clips with pins to make it easier. And now I'm just stitching straight across the top. And it's a little tricky because my pleats are going in the opposite direction of my the way I'm stitching. So it's like I have to just make sure the pleats don't come out. What she said, got hips and need wide legs. You said you got hips and you need because you need wide. Yeah, look, I feel like wide legs definitely help create that silhouette look. I have very little hips and I have like almost no waist, so they just look weird to me, I think. So I'm always like, All right, we're on the other side. On the other side of the back of the skirt. There we go. See, this is what happens when you have the clips. I should have replaced these two. You can't get as close as you need to before removing the clips, so sometimes your gathers or your pleats come out. Makes it a little tricky. I would definitely say if you do this, use pins because it's much easier to control your pleats. And then, so now we've put our pleats in. This is my center pleat. Then you're going to fold it under. You're going to fold this under. So this is going to be the outside of it. But you got to fold this part under and just do a single stitch. So So I'm going to do that now. And I'm not, I think, yeah, let me just pin it. It'll be easier just to pin it. And you'll just do one single stitch just straight across. And that's what I'm about to do now. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all for being on. I appreciate you. We are making Nikki from Beaute J'Adore's strappy maxi dress. And right now we are putting the pleats in the back of the skirt. So we put the pleats in the back of the skirt and now we're just stitching them. We're doing a straight stitch, and this again is the time where you do want to check the fit. This would be a great time to check your fit before you do that extra stitch, because you would have to take them both out potentially if you want to make some adjustments. So I'm just pinning this so it'll make it easier. Again, for those that may just be joining, I use clips initially to hold my pleats down because sometimes pins just don't stay in when I use them with knits, but they do not work when you're trying to keep the pleats in because the pins don't allow you, the clips don't allow you to get as close as you would want to your sewing machine. Your pleats will come out if you take the clip out too soon. All right. So I'm just making sure that the pleats are nice and neat. I'm just sticking a couple extra pins in. All right, I think we are good to go. So I'm about to stitch this again, making sure I don't have as much like bulking up underneath. We're gonna be good to go. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm not missing any comments. So at some point, I need to figure out exactly what I'm wearing to Frocktails, because I think as much as I'm like, okay, I'm glad they don't have a theme, I'm almost like a theme I think would have helped me figure out what I'm wearing. This is my first DC Frocktail, so I'm really excited to see how it's going to be, you know. And I'm also excited to see people that I may not have ever met before and people that I've met before. A small part of me is like, do I want to make something for tomorrow? A small part of me. But then the other part of me is like, you got a lot of stuff in there that you could wear. I literally just made 4 dresses in December that I could wear. And the dress that I made last week. All of them could work, especially again because there's no theme. So we got options. Make sure this is charging. All right, so far it seems like it's sewing okay. The pleats are staying intact. You said the same thing about the theme. Yeah, like I am really, at first I was like really happy, like, oh, good, I got options, But now as we get closer and closer, like literally it's the day before, and I'm not like solid on what I'm gonna wear. I haven't really like, oh, I'm definitely wearing this or I'm definitely wearing that. I probably won't even decide until like right before. I'll probably try on a couple of things, and whichever one, like whatever one gives me the energy that I'm looking for that at that moment is what I'm gonna wear. So we'll see. We will see. Okay, I think we have officially finished the back. So hopefully that doesn't look too bad, too horrible. I feel like it's a little bit more bulky than I wanted it to be. But I also feel like it might be a little bit bigger than I wanted it to be. So we might have to do something. I might end up putting a piece of elastic or something in there. We'll see. We'll see how much drape it has. I'm just going to slide it on really quick. Just see how much drape it's going to have. I mean, this is going to be, oops. So I'm okay with it kind of draping down in the back. Long as it's not showing too much. So I'm okay with a little bit of a drape in the back. So I think it's going to be okay. I thought it might be, well, I don't know. We'll see. We will see, because I definitely don't want it to be my back to be too open. But remember, we still have to put these straps on. So it may be okay. It may end up being okay. All right. Now we're on to the straps. So we have our straps here. And for the straps, then we're going to fold one side of the strap over 1/8 of an inch. And then we're going to fold the other side to meet the edge. And then we're going to stitch and iron it flat. So that's going to be a little tricky. So instead of folding it in half, we're literally folding 1/8, folding the other side 1/8, basically to fold them to meet in the middle like this. And then we're going to stitch and iron so that they are flat. So that's what we're about to do. And I probably should have done these in advance. So I think I'm trying to, yeah, because these are definitely not straps that you want to, you don't want to have to like turn them, because that would be a nightmare to have to turn these. But I think what I'm going to try to do is maybe just do one stitch down the middle as opposed to doing two. Let me see. It says fold one side of the strap over 1/8, fold the other side to meet the edge. Oh yeah, okay, so that is what it's saying. So you are basically folding them over so that there's an overlap, and then you are doing one stitch. So that's exactly what I'm getting ready to do. And you have two straps that you need to do that with. You say you're looking forward to the sorority retreat in Dallas. So I am going to miss that. I'm so sad because I have a conflict on both of the dates. I think they changed the date, I think they changed the date. Either way, I had a conflict, so I'm actually going to miss it. I'm going to be in Dubai, and I think that whole time. Either way, I have a conflict, and so I was sad, a little sad that I wasn't going to be able to do it. But the next time I will be there. So y'all just have to have fun. Is anybody else? So when I say like this year is really going to be jam-packed, there's so much stuff going on. So much stuff. Like if you want to be engaged in the sewing community, you can definitely do it, because there's not a shortage of things going on. Definitely not a shortage of things. All right, here we go. All right, I think I'm going to just start with this, and then I think I'll be able to just keep folding it as opposed to trying to pin this entire piece. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And then what does this say? Okay, here we go. I just want to make sure. No. I feel like my fabric just got caught in there. It did. There we go. Yeah, this is what happens when you don't make sure that you have it enough to clear. All right, there we go. All right, we're down to the last couple of parts, which are the straps, and then we just have the modesty for the bra part of it. So thank y'all for hanging in there. What time is it? Okay. Yeah, we are going to be done very soon. I'm just taking out this where my strap got stuck in my sewing machine. Yeah, I'm also looking for, in addition to the Chicago Fractales and the DC Fractales, I'm also looking forward to the So Much Talent Retreat. One, because they're coming to the DMV, and so that's always exciting to not have to travel and then have people come here. So I'm really excited about that. And last time we had when I tell you we had a good time, I had a great time. Like, I feel like that will not be a retreat that I will probably ever miss if I can help it, because I just had such a great time. And Carmen, I don't know, but by then, I'm hoping that Slutty Vegan has their place open. So, and I'll be in shape, so I'll be able to eat even more vegan than I did last time. Because we was definitely in that place every chance. And that definitely contributed to the great time that I had and the, all the stuff. Getting to see people, great education. It was just a great time. All right, here we go. Let's try this again. Expeditiously. Let's try this again. Here we go. We're going to start in the middle. Oh, well. All right, here we go. Let's try this again. Wish us luck. Okay, let's see. Treated Maryland this year. No Slutty Vegan there. I know, but one is coming. I mean, let me look it up and see when's the date. It's coming. It is coming. Well, we also have, if Slutty Vegan is not here, we have New Vegan. And they have great food. What in the world? I'm telling you, this little band, this little strap is giving me the hardest time. These are not going to be pretty straps, but the good news is that they're going to be twisted, so you're not going to see all of the... I always say anytime I have straps or I need to do them in advance, and I never do. Okay. Come on, strap. Stop giving me the hard time. All right, here we go. Okay, not a huge fan of New Vegan. It's just okay to me. I like New Vegan. I do. I'm like, I mean, I'm not saying this, it's gonna beat Slutty Vegan. It's not. But it's because it's different. But because New Vegan Slutty Vegan has different food, just period. So it's not gonna beat New Vegan, but it's a good alternative. Like, I do like New Vegan, and I mean, I don't have a slutty vegan here. So if I ate slutty vegan every day, I don't know what would happen to me. I would definitely have problems. That food is very indulgent. I mean, it's so decadent. It's like so, it's so good though. Goodness gracious. I'm sure, I'm confident that people who are not vegan eat there just as much as people who are vegan. Like, I'm confident of that. It's just like when you learn that people can make good food and it's not like, oh, this is good for vegan. It's just good taste. It's just so flavorful. Now, I'm not saying it's healthy. That is not what I'm saying. So I just want to make that clear. Both comfort food. You said it's slutty vegan. I just had some yesterday. Oh my goodness. Don't talk about it, Monica, because I'm hungry right now on top of everything else. So I'm like, when we talk about food, look, when we went to the So Much Talent retreat, Carmen and I think both of us had it every day. I know, I feel like I did. I was like, I'm going. I was addicted. All right, one long old strap down and one to go. I gotta fix this end though. I didn't sew the end because the sewing machine said you will leave some. So let me just sew this really quick. Great thing about having very close matching thread. All right, one down, one to go. You said we did it because of you. Look, I'll take that. I'll take all of that credit. I will take it all because I was definitely trying to have slutty vegan every day. Definitely trying to have it every day. It was so good. I was like, there's nothing better. Like, why would we eat anything else? Why would we? I mean, besides trying to be healthy. But I was like, if we're going to eat unhealthy, we're going to eat unhealthy the right way. And we get ready to go get this slutty vegan. And we did. And it was so good every time. Every time. Oh my goodness. Let's stop talking about it because I'm hungry. I'm so hungry. Hey, Felicia. All right, let's get this other strap down so we could do the twisting and get this back on. All right, here we go. I know one thing is for certain though. I will never probably ever eat meat or dairy again in my life. I have no interest. Not a single. Plant-based options have come a long way. And food just tastes so much better now than it did when I first became vegan. And they're going to have vegan options at DC Fried Tail. So I'm excited about that. That's exciting. That is very exciting. Okay. So second strap is almost done. Down to the last little bit. These straps are so long because we're going to be twisting them. All right, down to a little bit, the last wire. All right. Look at that. We are done both the straps. Both straps are done. I'm just going to press them flat. Oh, let me just do this last little end piece. And then while the iron is heating up, okay. And let's see. It says fold one side of the strap over. Oh, we already did that. Okay. That was, and so then it says, let's see. Twist the two pieces of the strap, pin the top and bottom of the strap so it doesn't unravel. So that's what we're going to do next. But before we do that, I'm going to press this. Oops, let me move these pins out the way. Move all of this out the way. There we go. Pressing it flat. Oops. All right, one strap pressed, and now we're going to press the other one, and then we're going to pin. Pin the ends of one edge together. And then we're going to twist it. All right, there we go. Straps are pressed. Move that out of the way. All right, so here we go. We have our ends. And I'm gonna clip it because, and maybe even pin it too. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna pin it because I need to make sure the best side of both of these straps is showing. Okay, so it says Fold one side of the strap over, fold the other side, stitch and iron, drape the strap around a stick or some vertical object, and twist the two pieces of the strap. Pin the top and bottom of the strap so it doesn't unravel. So it says drape. It says you can use your pin, your spool to do this. I'm just going to pin it down to my ironing pad. I'm going to pin it down there. That should give me enough. If it doesn't, then I'll move it, but I feel like this should give me enough. So I have it pinned down, and then it says that we're going to twist the two pieces together. So I'm twisting them together. And I often will look at, let me just look at. All right, I'm twisting the two pieces together. And this is a pretty long twist. I mean, a pretty long strap. And then once we twist it, it's telling us to also pin the other edge as well to keep it from unraveling. And then once we do that, we are going to put the instructions right here so I can read it while I'm twisting. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, shoot. I'm doing it wrong. I'm taking it out. So we have to fold the strap in. That's why it's telling us to wrap it around. So I'm twisting both of the two straps together. That's wrong. We're taking one strap and you're going to fold it in the middle like this and put it around something like your spool, like the little a stick or your thread spool. I'm going to just pin it down to the middle. So scratch the first thing I said, do the second thing, which is fold it in half. I'm pinning mine. And then you're going to twist it. And you're going to do the same thing with both of them, both of your straps. I was thinking about that as I was doing that. I was like, it must be just all one piece connected because it is pretty long, but it's not. So, and I'm glad we're twisting these because my straps are not super pretty. You brought the Mimi G iron and you say you're a gadget person. I have to have it. I'm a gadget person too. I am a gadget person. I love to like try new things. I didn't get Mimi G's iron, but I had a mini. I actually still have a mini Oloso iron. But I'm gonna tell you, I love my Rwanda iron. I have one for my personal, just my clothes that I use, that I sew. I used one for my personal clothes before I started sewing. So here's my one, like little. So I'm just going to pin this down on the other end just to keep it from unraveling. Okay, so that's one. And now I'm going to do the same thing with this one. This is going to be so cute. And again, these don't have to be super perfect because you're twisting them. So literally, you hide all the imperfections with it. All right, so now I'm twisting this too. All right, let's see. It says fold the top pointed portion of the bodice under using, so at the top of your bodice, I don't know if you remember, I showed you this in the beginning, there is a fold line. So it's telling you to fold this top part down. And that is where we're going to attach our straps. So it says fold the top pointed portion of the bodice under using the chalk mark as a guide. Evenly place the straps under the fold, pin and stitch. And then you're going to repeat this for both straps. And then you're going to pull the straps to the back and you're going to cross them over. You're going to crisscross them. So loop one around the other at the center of the back. And then you're going to pin the straps to the side seams. And then if you didn't feel like you need the modesty, that strap on the back, or it's probably more for support than it is, modesty, but you could potentially wear a bra with that too. But if you didn't feel like you needed it, then you would technically be done. Well, you would do the hem of the bottom of the skirt and you would be done. I would say recommend that you put that strap on there because, again, I think it's going to give you the support, particularly if you have it draped down at the back, like how mine draped down. I think it'll just suck it in more. Okay, so what we're doing now is we are taking our bodice, these little pointed parts at the top of the bodice right here. There's a fold line there. You're going to fold that down. And you are going to take one of your straps and you are going to place the straps under the fold and pin. So you got to also make sure you do not lose your twist as you're doing that. So I'm just making sure my twisted part does not come out. And you have this part, you're going to fold it and put it underneath. And then you're going to pin it. And I'm also making sure I lay it flat too. All right, so that is literally how it's going to look. And then you're going to do the other one the exact same way. You're going to fold it down and take one of the ends of your strap from the other strap. And I'm like to make sure it's like really twisted. And then I'll lay it flat open, stick it under there, fold it down. And pin. And you do have a fold line that tells you exactly where you need to fold it down at. All right, and this is what it will look like. Oops, when you have it pinned. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is, let's see, I'm going to stitch, but I'm not going to unpin the other strap until I get it stitched down because I don't want it to become unstitched. So I'm just going to do a stitch right across the top. Let's see. Can you watch that? There you go. So I still have what you see, all this mess right here is my, the other part of my tie pinned to my ironing pad. All right, one down. And now I'm going to do, so I'm keeping that. Now I'm going to do the other side. Same thing. All right. Now that we've done that, it is saying pull the straps to the back, and then we're going to, as I mentioned before, we're going to crisscross them. So I have to, at some point, unravel this. And I just don't, I'm not unravel it, but unpin it so that, and work and hope that it does not unravel. Wait a minute. Okay, here we go. Let me just look at this. All right. So we do need to cross these over, or I'm just going to take one. And cross it over. But you want to make sure this does not unravel, and that's the part I'm a little nervous about. So let me just see. Pull the straps to the back, tie at the center of the back. Oh, is it a tie? Oh, it is. Okay. So you're going to loop it under twice. Okay, so here are my straps. And I'm just trying to make sure that they don't unravel, which I feel like they are. Not unraveling, but they're twisting. So you want to twist them. It says tie. I'm trying to think about how to tie this. I almost feel like it's just a twist. I'm going to twist it twice, and then we're going to leave it at that. And now let me see. All right, that's good. Or maybe I'm just going to twist it once. I'm going to just twist it once. We'll see. Hopefully that will work. All right. Fold at the top. Okay, so pull the straps to the back and tie at the center of the back. Pin the straps to the side seams and stitch in place. All right, that's what we're about to do. So I have just crossed them over once. That's just one crossover. And now I am going to go back to the side seams. You got to make sure, see how this is twisting? I don't know how we kept this from twisting, but so one strap goes to one. So it stays on the same side. So whatever strap you start on this side, you cross it over and it stays on that same side. So you have a cross in the back. And then you are going to stitch it to the side seam. So I'm just going to pin this. Pin. To the inside. Same thing on the other side. And I'm just pinning it right to the inside of the side seam. Pin straps to the side seams and stitch in place. Stopping at this step also creates a very pretty open back. So this is the one thing I was saying, is that if you don't add the back band, you could just literally stop here if you were okay with that, you know, if you didn't want that piece. So here's the crossover. This is how it's crossed. And here is where I'm stitching it in the back. So I put it right on the side seam. on each side. That's what you're looking at. Even though it looks like a whole bunch of fabric, it is literally the side seam. So I'm about to do a stitch there on each side. And I'm stitching like right across, right in the side seam, to keep it from unraveling as much as I can. And I'll back stitch. So I did it so you can't really tell. I just kind of stitched right into the seam there. So it's on the inside, but it's right in the seam. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And again, you just kind of have to play around with it a little bit to make sure that it doesn't start unraveling. You just kind of hold it. And I'm also kind of laying it flat a little bit to the best of my ability anyway. All right. So if we were to stop here, this would basically be the dress. Let me you really have to make sure you don't, from the front, it's the front, and then this is the back with the twist in it. And the last step is this back band. And so you are going to fold on the fold line. So there is a fold line here. It's right here. And I made like a little cut in my fabric just to let me know. Okay, so you're going to fold it on the fold line, which it's like, this is the fabric. It's not in the middle, halfway. Let me see, where am I? Folding the fold line to the wrong side of the fabric. So I'm going to do like that. And then stitch the bottom half of the two fabric pieces together. Leave the sides open and turn the right side out and press. So it's the bottom half. Make sure I do that right. Stitch the bottom half of the two fabric pieces together. Leave the two sides open. Turn right side out and press. Base stitch the two open sides. Pin the bottom end of the band to the intersection of the side seam. Pin the remainder of the band to the edge of the bodice and stitch. Oh, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Fold this. So I think I was folding it the wrong way. Am I doing it right? Yes, I'm doing it right. All right, let me make sure that's right. I think that's right. Fold. Wrong side of fabric, stitch the bottom half of the two fabric. Oh yes, okay, so that is right. So we're folding it this way, long way. Right side, let's see. Fold on the fold side to the wrong side of the fabric. So it'll be right sides together, because then you're going to turn it right side out and press. and then you're going to stitch the 2 open sides and then pin the bottom end of the band to the intersection. Okay, so yeah, that's what we're doing, folding it long ways, which makes total sense because it's going to attach to the right side, and then we're going to turn it inside out. So 5 8/7" seam allowance, stitch right across. No, why'd you do that? Okay, here we go. I need to rethread my sewing machine, but I'm going to do it after. Okay, so now we've done this. I'm actually going to cut this seam allowance off just so it lays really flat. And then I'm going to turn it and then press it really quick. Almost done, everyone. Almost done. Okay, here we go. I'll turn it inside out or right side out. Okay. And let's press this. So here's so this is the iron. I bought this iron also a while ago, probably like, I don't know, 6, 8, 9 months ago. And I just started using it like December, I think November maybe. But I love it. It's got like a little tank on it, so you fill it with water. And unlike my other iron that I had, which was also over winter too, but this one doesn't burn my fingers. It does, the steam doesn't burn my fingers. I mean, it still gets hot, but the steam does not burn me like the other one did. The other one was like, shoot, I needed some gloves. Okay, here we go. So here's the piece that we just pressed. And now it is telling us to take our dress. This is our dress. And we are going to take the back band, and we're going to pin the bottom end of the band to the intersection of the side seam and the bodice seam. So the intersection of the side seam and the bodice seam. So right here, this is that intersection. Side seam, bodice, bodice, side seam, right here. So we're going to take this, and we are going to pin this right to that intersection. And we're going to do right sides together so that when we flip it, it's going to be right there like that. Let me just make sure that that is right. I think so. Yeah, I think so. Actually, yeah, right sides together. That's right. Because then when it's flipped over, it's going to be like that. Right, so right sides together, I'm going to pin that And it does say that you should base stitch the open edges, but we're not doing that. We're going to just pin this. And that's literally it, besides hemming it, which I will do offline. So once I get this pinned, I'm going to pin the other side, and then I'm going to stitch it. And then we're going to try it on and see if we have to make any, hopefully we don't have to make any adjustments, but we will see. All right, so that's one, and then we're going to take the other side and do the exact same thing. Again, right sides together. Make sure it's not twisted. And I will probably make another one of these. I always say, like, the second time you make something is always, to me, the best time, because you kind of know what you're doing. And okay. All right, got it pinned, and now I'm about to stitch across it, and then that'll be it. And it tells you to kind of stitch along the same stitch line that you already have for your bodice. So I'm about to do that right now. Again, the great part about having thread that matches really closely is that if you don't get it perfect, no one will know. All right, one side down, one to go. Thank y'all for hanging in there. I appreciate it. And we can ready to do the big reveal in a minute. We are literally putting on the back band. Again, this to me is an optional step, but I think I'm going to like it because I think it's going to give me support to the back, because mine I think is going to be hanging. So all right, there we go. So it is on. All right, let's see. Let me see if I can hold this right. Here we go. So the challenge is going to be keeping these little front pieces from twisting. That's going to be the challenge. Okay, here we go. Maybe if I hold it from that part, you will be able to see. Oh, and I got to flip this around. Here we go. Okay, so here is what it looks like from the front. If I could hold it correctly. Okay. This is what it looks like from the front. And then this is what it's looking like from the back. There's the band. Okay, so I'm going to try it on. We're going to see what it looks like. I'll be right back. Okay, well, it is it's way too big. So I'm gonna have to gather it quite a bit in the front, in the back, because it's so big it kind of just hangs down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on the dress form so you can get a feel for it, but it also will help me figure out how much I need to gather. But I do like it. I just need it to fit better. Like right now, it feels more like a bathing suit cover than a dress because it's so big. Like if I had my bathing suit underneath, it would be fine, but I want to wear it like a dress. So I definitely need to make some adjustments in order to be able to do that. I didn't realize it was going to be so big. So here's the bigness number one. So this, how it's fitting on this dress form is how it's fitting on me. So let's start with the back to begin with. So the back is, I'm going to probably have to end up, I don't know if I'll have to take them out, but I'm definitely going to have to make some either smaller pleats or more pleats, because I'm okay with it hanging down, but I need it to be like more secure. So a couple of options that I have, if I don't want to take out the pleats, I could probably put a piece of elastic in and bring this hang down to like about right here. This is where I need it to be. The other thing that I could do is potentially just take it in on the sides. That's the other option I have. Take it in on the sides. Yes, that was, so she does recommend that you try it on throughout, and I didn't try it on throughout. So, but I kind of mentioned it on the, at the time, like, hey, this would be a good time to try it on. I did not try it on throughout. So that is why she recommends trying it on, so you can make the pleats like you need to. I guess because I wrapped it around myself, which is not a substitute, clearly. So either I'm going to put a piece of elastic in here to tighten it, or I'm going to tighten it at the side so that it hangs right here. So this back part is fine. This fits me exactly the way it should fit. It's not too tight, not too loose. So this part is fine here. Now where it is loose again is in the front. This is way too loose. So I will need to probably put a piece of elastic. It's probably going to be the quickest way. Otherwise I would have to take it out again. So I will probably end up either tightening it. I'll probably put a piece of elastic in. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to put a piece of elastic in. I think that's probably going to be the quickest thing to get this, because this is very loose. So this all hangs down here because it's so loose instead of being up here. And again, I think the best way, the solution for that is when you are creating your pleats or when you're doing a basting stitch, at that point where it said, hey, try it on, you should try it on, which you all know I didn't try it on, because then you can make the modifications that you need to make more pleats. So I would have needed like a lot more pleats in here to kind of cinch this in. Right now it's just kind of like hanging, as you see on this dress form. That's kind of like how it's hanging on me, so it doesn't kind of cinch in. So those are the two things that I'm going to do, which is I'm either going to try to add the elastic. Yeah, thank you, Carmen. For whatever reason, it just cut this. I think my iPad is dying because it won't charge. It's still at 1%, and it's been plugged in all day because I knew I was having this live and I didn't realize it wasn't charging. So I think it's probably getting ready to die. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play around with the elastic in the front and in the back and see, because that's probably the quickest way to solve for it. But my takeaways are that there are a couple of areas where it is recommended that you try it on, particularly when you're creating the pleating around the bodice part in the front. And then also after you are creating this in the back, because those two pieces are key to getting the fit that you want. This part all fits me perfect. This part fits me perfect in the back. It gives me, I think, the support, and by pulling these two pieces, it pulls them together, but it doesn't do anything with this. So if I would have had enough pleating in here, it would have been perfect, because it would have been just like this, which is exactly what you want it to be. So I just either need to put a piece of elastic to kind of cinch it in, or take the pleat out and just redo it so that it's much tighter. Yes, the fabric. Yes, thank you, Terrence. So I'm definitely going to salvage this. I'm going to make those adjustments that I need to, because the fabric and the length is right. The length is perfect for me. So I'm 5'2". I did 45 inches for length, and that it does take it all the way to the bottom of my feet. So if I put on a pair of heels, or 2 to 3 inch heels, then it's going to be like 2 to 3 inches above the ground, which is great. So those are the things I'm going to do to fix that dress. I would definitely recommend it. I'm going to probably make another one. But I'm going to fix this one first. And so that way I know. The other thing I might do too is I did a medium, and I might actually do a small, just because I have so much to gather. I might actually do a small the next time that I make it. So that's the only other thing I might do if I do it. I'm going to probably pick the fuchsia fabric next to do it. So I have a green one and a fuchsia one. Hi, Auntie Carol. So anyway, any questions? Any questions? I'm going to work on fixing it. You said her indie patterns run big. Yeah, I definitely would say, like, I think I'm going to make it again, because it definitely is not I feel like it's a pretty easy sew, quick sew. But, the straps probably took me the longest. But now that I know all the pieces and all the parts of it, I can probably go through it much quicker. So I'm going to do a small the next time around. So I think that will also help me have much more structure for this part. Probably part of me wants to take this out. I'm just like type A person in me wants to take it out. But I do have enough seam allowance in here that I probably can even create like a little casing and do a piece of elastic in there. So we'll see. You'll see, because I'll post the finished garment when I fix it. When I make the adjustments, I should say. Let's see. That's right, Terrence. I'm with you on that. So thank you all. I appreciate all of you hanging out with me. Again, remember, Shishi will be covering for me next Friday. In the meantime, I'm going to post my schedule for the rest of the month for Black History Month, where we're going to be focused on the last 2 weeks of the month. I'm going to post my March schedule and my April schedule. So you're going to know, like, what are our themes for March. March is Women's History Month. So we're going to probably focus on something related to that for the 2 weeks that I'll be sewing in March. Shishi will be covering for me while I'm in Dubai and the Maldives. So that's 2 weeks she'll be covering for me. And what else? And then April, I'm going to figure out what we're going to do for April. So I'll be posting all of that within the next week or so. So look out for those schedules. And again, thank you all for following. Don't forget to like the YouTube video. It definitely helps it. And I appreciate y'all. Thank you so, so much. And I'm going to post Nikki's pattern too, because I definitely recommend it. I think it's a nice, pattern, and I will be making it again too. So, all right. Happy Friday. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see everybody, those that are going at DC Frock Tales tomorrow. And we'll have something to talk about when I see you in 2 weeks. Bye, everyone.